Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, the YouTube live stream is running on Discord. I think we should be running too. Discord is on the wrong screen. Let's switch that over here. Open up the chat. Good morning, Francie. Good afternoon or good evening. Let's see what we can work with today. This is going to be one of the last live streams in 2023. I'm not sure of if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow and Friday. I'm still considering. I want to take a little break before I start trading in 2024. A little bit of time to reflect and think about my trading in general. Do a little recap of 2023, what I did good, what I didn't do good. And you just don't end up having the time for all that thinking if you trade non-stop. Not non-stop, but you guys know what I mean. A little bit of time to reflect at the end of the year. The probability of us having very clean price action is decreasing every single day. The closer we get to Christmas, after Christmas, it's even worse. Of course, we could have the best trading days of the entire year, but the chances of us not having good days at all, or actually terrible days, are too high. So might as well just avoid that. I had a massive overnight trade right here, short right here at 1 a.m. I shared that also with the Discord members. I posted that earlier on the Discord and also on my socials right here inside the trade ideas section. I mentioned short idea on ES from the New York Midnight Open. Played out perfectly. Literally caught the high of the day. So that was really nice. But now since we almost took this on NQ, we already cleared those 3 equal lows. On ES we've made another equal low right here. So I would assume that we're going to take that and then maybe pull back of some sort. I'm not really sure. We will see. We've been in a long consolidation so far. I've already made my profit for the day, so I'm not really super keen on risking it again unless I see a high quality setup. I've got all my drawings on my chart. You can see that we have a slight divergence between ES and NQ. The lowest low has been formed on NQ here at 445. So that would be SMT divergence. NQ didn't dig down lower, deeper into a lower low. It kept on printing higher lows. So I think eventually, after NQ just keeps on running highs, buy side, eventually it will come back to hunt some internal sell side. Sooner or later. And I don't know, recently I've been anticipating what the New York Open is going to do with price correctly most of the times. Today my call would be that NQ is going to run lower first to run out the sell side. Because all we've been doing is leave behind higher lows. Did anyone else have some good trades today already they want to talk about or share? If so, feel free to share them here on the Discord or in the YouTube chat. So except for the entry up here with this bearish value gap right after the London Open, and you can throw all the price action post 4 a.m. really to the trash bin. There's Nothing good at all in here. And even if we look at the range, almost just 5 points. Not even worth it. Our drop right here, that netted 10 points. Also not the biggest range if we think about it in a point value. We can take a look at the bigger picture as well if we want to. Let's take a look at that. On a daily time frame, yesterday during the PM session, we hit our daily draw on liquidity. We've spoke about this daily buy side quite a few times yesterday during the live stream. Next buy side target would be right up here. Can actually drag that out. Just a daily high, and then we would have a daily volume imbalance right here. Let's also copy that. I don't think we're gonna continue to go higher just based on my gut feeling, but it cannot hurt to have it on here with us. So let's go back to current price action, see where we are at. All right, so here we have our volume imbalance. Buy side liquidity, daily buy side liquidity, we've just hit that. We took out the previous day's high. We already have had a pretty bullish week. Now it's Wednesday. We'll see. I think the retracement can continue. Let's go to for example, the 1 hour time frame. All we've been doing here really is going sideways. Let me hide my drawings here quickly. After going up on Monday, Tuesday, shift in structure. We'll see how that plays out. Let's take a look at our previous day's range. What's that? That's crazy. Fibonacci retracement tool. We have the 50% of yesterday's range coming in at our daily inversion fair value gap. We closed above that, so that would be considered a inversion fair value gap now. Retracement back into that. At least on ES, on NQ, we've already hit those equal lows right here. We're right now playing inside this 1 hour bullish fair value gap. And yeah, chopping, extremely choppy in here. Bring it down to the 15-minute. We have some short-term highs that we could clear before continuing lower. So maybe a fake out move to the upside. If we leave those equal lows untouched at the New York Open, I could see us reverse first, tap the VWAP, fill in some of the inefficiencies, and then basically some sort of a Tudor swing to continue even lower and attack more sell side that we left behind yesterday. Ah, well, it is on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I've been talking and talking. Retrace back into 1 hour fair value gap or sell off more. Well, I'm prepared for both. If we first take out sell side, kind of looking for a Tudor swing, a fake out move this morning. First move, I think, will likely be a fake out move. We just have been consolidating, and we've really hit that main target. I didn't think we were going to hit it before New York, but yeah, I mean, NQ already cleared that. All these equal lows right here. Clean setup, same setup that I shared on the Discord tonight, depending on where you live. Early this morning for me. And we just sold off. And usually after such a big London session, you're better off avoiding New York. At least that's what ICT reckons. We don't want to get involved if, like, let's say worst case scenario, we take out sell side, we take out buy side, and we range in a big manner. This would just really be painful for us. And do nothing maybe until the PM session, who knows? Let's watch ES here closely, because ES is getting closer and closer to our set of equal lows. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15-minute lows right here at exactly this level at 4808.25. Every time it looked like we're going to trade into it, we bounced away from it. Made it look like we're going to hit it this time. No, we take out some more buy side first. And then we head back down into it. So now might be the time where we're actually going to take it. Pre-market open, that would be interesting. Really interesting, actually. We still have that SMT divergence between ES and NQ. NQ forming a higher low. ES forming a lower low. Let's see. Thanks for the like, Dimitri. I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, it's going to be one of the last live streams this year. I'm going to, even on a Discord, next trading week, 100% certainty, I won't be active. I mean, it's Christmas time anyway. Everyone spends time with their family. There's no point in me on keeping everyone up to date, sharing trade ideas and that stuff. I think, yeah, there could be even some nice advice for other traders out there. If you have been trading for the entire year of 2023, those last 2 weeks within the year, so we're within calendar week 51 now, 52 is going to be next week. Take some time off. I'm not going to be, at least I'm trying my best to not look at the charts next week during the entire week. Not look at it, don't worry about it, and spend some more time on reflecting. What did I do good during 2023? What can I improve upon? How do I want to start into the new year? Not that it's very significant, it's just a new year, but you guys know what I mean. Set some goals, set some new targets, evaluate how you've improved over the entire year, find the most common mistakes and hiccups that limit you to reach your full potential. So just some time to think about stuff, and that's what I'm going to take next week for sure. I might do it early, starting maybe one more live stream tomorrow. I will see how I feel about it. I will think about it. We'll see. We'll see. So I want to spend some more time contemplating about my trading year of 2023. Instead of thinking about it for a couple of minutes, or if someone else is asking you, oh yeah, how was your year? Yes, I'm also looking forward to 2024. I'm excited for it, but at this point in time, I know that I don't want to be heading into the new year with the same mindset that I'm currently trading with, or with the same approach would be the wrong word to say here, but I just want to reflect a little bit for at least a week. Some, how do we want to say that? Some detachment from the charts, not jumping on live streams every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, trading my funded accounts. Real attachment, like a little vacation, spending time with family and all that stuff. Yes, really, I think I've done that last year. Literally zero value in you trading during that last year when it's Boxing Day and the day after Boxing Day, where maybe still family is around and all that stuff, and you keep looking at your screen because the S&P 500 or gold is moving up and down, more wallet, and then you end up losing, and then you're like, why am I even participating? Like, I could be spending time with my family, and now I'm actually in drawdown on my funded account, and all. I guess you people get the point that I'm trying to make. It's not worth it. So we touch this low one more time, but we can already see that big divergence with NQ. NQ is nowhere near the low of the day right here. Big difference. For NAS, well, really, I've already took the short from right here. I shared the idea also before the London kill zone already with the members here. The trade idea, short idea on ES1 of the New York Midnight Open right here. Turned out to be the high of the day, and I kept it running as well. Same thing really for NQ target. Those equal lows right here. I mean, on the higher time frame, I could see it continue lower, but yeah, from a perspective, usually if we have a big trend during London, relatively speaking, New York tends to be less lucrative according to ICT. Might not be worth too much risk. There are better opportunities for New York. Right now we've been inside a consolidation for the past almost 5 hours. I mean, you can't really call this price action. You can maybe scalp some stuff on the 1 minute time frame, but really there's not much there. All right, now the SMT divergence actually increases dramatically. ES is taking out these 3 equal lows, that equal low sell side. Hit the fair value gap right here, this bullish fair value gap. The time is 9:20, so we're still 10 minutes away from our market open. And NQ is right now at least not showing any sign of weakness here, really. I mean, ES, relatively speaking, is already down here. That's fair enough, you can't trade order sessions. You just have to understand that sometimes if London already did a major part in... If London left behind a big range, the probability is lower that we're gonna see a great New York AM session. Now I'm looking at on the daily. We started to retrace. Previous day's high, we've already hit that. I'm not trading NAS. I'm only looking at it for SMT divergence. Yeah, there's a fair value gap, but I doubt that we're gonna see it being traded into today. And based on that, well, let's do the question, how are we gonna trade throughout the open? We could retrace into our 1 hour inefficiency here before we continue lower. We could even continue to go up. I'm just saying, statistically speaking, or what ICT preachers said, if London printed a big trading range, not range, an expansion, most of the time it's the best to avoid the New York AM session. I think when he answered the question of when should I avoid the London session, if we have a big Asia session trend. When should I avoid the New York AM session, if we have a big London session trend. When should I avoid the PM session, when we had a very big trend during the AM session. On ES, I already mentioned that at the beginning, we hit our daily buy-side draw on liquidity yesterday already. Then we took out the previous day's high. That's why I really like the short that I shared this morning with the community. Now we come back towards our daily inversion fair value gap right here. We could actually make this purple. Our previous day's high. Monday's high, basically. See what we're going to do in here. We certainly do not see the weakness on NQ that we see on ES right now. So this might be a opportunity, SMT divergence, low of the day, left behind buy side liquidity if the New York Open wants to expand. You can already see that level of strength on NQ, pushing and pushing. We have 2.5 more minutes until market open. I'm 100% neutral right now. I'm not looking for anything specific. We have news at 10 a.m. Also keep that in mind. I'm going to put a little reminder here on our chart. And you really pushing here. 2 more minutes until market open. And Q forming a new high. Considering that most shorts from Asia early London are still in profit, well, tough call. Let's see what happens at the open. Yes, just also cleared that sell side. We have bullish SMT divergence. We're bouncing off this bullish fair value gap. After all this consolidation, we could shoot up very quickly. We could drop very quickly based on the bearish SMT and shoot up based on the bullish SMT here. Tough call at this point in time. 42 seconds to go. $28 seconds to go. Just based on what I see here on NQ, we only took out buy side. We take out highs, and all we do is leave behind higher lows and higher lows. So I would kind of anticipate a run on sell side first. After all we've did here is forming higher highs and higher lows. Okay, New York opened up. Let's see, NQ is already looking like it's going to deliver exactly as I forecasted it. Well, at least it hit some sell side. Let's see if it's immediately rejecting or if it's going to hunt for some more. Took some sell side, but still playing around. Indecisive. NQ at least. Yes, seems like it's pushing, but we also mentioned that. Now we hit a bearish fair value gap right here. Wouldn't be surprised if we retest the VWAP one more time. I mean, we haven't touched the VWAP since 2 a.m. early London session. Indecisive. Took buy side one more time. Lots of up and down movement here. Let's just be patient. I think we're much better off reacting instead of forecasting. Let's see how we're going to close at 9:30. We still have 1 minute left, so it's not even 5 minutes yet. 20 seconds to go. I'm specifically watching ES here to see if we close above this bearish fair value gap right here. Let me actually draw it in. Already closed above this one. We close right at the high and open with a bullish volume imbalance. And Q took more buy side. So ES really has movement, has potential to also push further to the upside. Let's zoom out a little here. I'm in on the long of this inversion fair value gap. We'll see how it plays out. Let me get rid of some of these fair value gaps. We don't really need them at the moment. Keep our charts clean. We don't need that. We don't need that inversion fair value gap. We don't need that volume imbalance. My whole focus is right now on this inversion fair value gap. To see if we can use that to deliver into our first buy side target up right here at 4814, then potentially some buy side above that. And Q already delivered into this buy side up here. Let's see, ES is moving of my inversion fair value gap entry. Stop below this candle slow, 5 points. I'm going to target this buy side. Now there's news at 10. I'm prepared for that. That's why I have this vertical line here. Similar setup to yesterday where we also came off the low, disrespected a bearish fair value gap, and then we used that as our first entry. Close below that fair value gap would be the invalidation for me without much risk. We also tapped the VWAP for the first time since 2 a.m. on both ES and NQ again. Orders buy side cleared. We cleared all these 4 equal lows right there, and then we moved away aggressively. And some stops. Okay, we cleared our first buy side target. NQ is also pushing above the VWAP. Let's see if we can continue here, or if we immediately reject after clearing buy side. 1.5 minutes to go, or just around 1.5 minutes. Bullish fair value gap, volume imbalance. So maybe a little Judas swing, fake out pump into some buy side liquidity until 10 a.m. and then we hit some news. But it's not like a CPI news event. Usually, if we see a setup before the news event helps to push price into the setup that has already been put in place. And Q is really pushing here. Anyone in and is long with me? I mean, I mentioned that volume imbalance, bearish fair value gap. If we close above, volume imbalance, entry on the inversion. Short notice, but we're scalping. I can't let you know 2 hours in advance that I'm going to take a long right here. I myself don't know that I'm actually going to take a long right then and there. Nice close. Bullish SMT divergence right here. You know what would be crazy? If we just rally all the way above here and they just accumulated at a discount, trapping order traders short down here, waiting for the continuation lower, continuing for it to continue long from 4809. All right, all the way from down here, based on this SMT divergence and stuff like that with NQ. Right on, Dimitri. I wanted to wait a little until after the open. I usually do that. Even though most of the time I have the right anticipation. Before the New York Open, we mentioned, okay, bullish SMT right here, and we have buy-side liquidity above compared to NQ. Well, all we did before the market open was take out buy-side, buy-side, buy-side. Now we only have short-term lows available. I would have liked to see the wick to actually take out the lowest low and then do this. But right now we're pushing. We're pushing. Let's see. Keep an eye on NQ. Wait for our first buy side target. We could draw in fair value gaps. For potential resistance, we can see ES isn't as strong. But I mean, in terms of points, we only dropped 10 points during London. It's not the biggest drop in the world, or 15 points. New York can easily recover that. Let's see if we hit our first target. We have our bearish fair value gap right here. Yeah, I'm not going to use anything else. We have a bearish fair value gap right here. Closed right at the high, and then we retested the low of the fair value gap, continuing to expand. And Q is just taking off, literally taking off. recovered. Let's put a fib tool on here to the low. Already way above, already attached to 62, the golden pocket retracement area. Two more minutes to go. What's the time? It's 40. We still have 20 minutes until news. Nothing to worry about. And I really have to go to the toilet. That sucks. Bitcoin is now at 44k. I guess Bitcoin pushed as well. Nice. And target hit. Secured 1 out of 2 positions that I entered on this inversion fair value gap. Let's see how we keep on trading. I'm quickly going to the toilet. I will be back in no time. So blöd. So blöd. Den ganzen Longlauf mehr ist wieder mitgenommen. Alright, I'm back. Alright, that's actually interesting. I like walking away from the chart and then getting back to it. What do we have right here? What kind of pattern or setup, ICT setup is that? Would that be? Let me try to make it simpler. Come from a high, low. Then all we do in here is chop, so I'm not going to regard this. So we chop. We take the low. Theoretically shift structure here. We take out the low one more time. And now we close above it. What's this right here? This last pattern. That's a 2022 model. This would be our breaker block. Right here. Let's see what it looks like on the 15. Also on the 15, this would be our breaker block right here. Let's get rid of this. You guys know that I'm in the long. Inversion fair value gap, bearish fair value gap still remains intact. We have our breaker block right here. Inversion fair value gap, bearish fair value gap. We already cleared that buy side. Where's the next bearish fair value gap? Right up here, back at our previous day's high. That's why I said I'm not really biased before the New York Open. I see what price is going to do, and then I'm most of the time better off reacting instead of anticipating, trying to guess what it's going to happen. Wait for price to tell me what it wants to do, what it's up to. And it gave me my first hint right here, A, with that SMT divergence, and B, volume imbalance above this bearish fair value gap, closing above it, retesting it, good enough for me to try an entry, especially after having swept the low, trying to run for some buy side liquidity here. Secured after 5 points. And now I've got another another lot basically running from my entry right here at 4812. Of course, you could have anticipated that entire move and jumped in down here, but this is just a tiny bit too early for me. I don't have to catch the very bottom. I prefer to wait for a little bit more confirmation. Bullish fair value gap. That's our inversion fair value gap entry, but I would anticipate this fair value gap here to become a breakaway gap. Or this would be a 2022 model. Retest the breaker block. I mean, if we would want to, we could even use these two candles. Let's look at the hourly time frame. On the hourly, that's not visible. On the 15, it's all chop. Highest or closing candles. Lines up nicely with our inversion fair value gap. Also on the 15, we have a 15-minute inversion. And we stop continuing up higher after hitting this 15-minute bearish. We're also back at our daily open. This is our opening of the day. Old support, turn into resistance. We break below it, now we're back into it. I see the possibility of price making another higher high for today. It's not out of the cards. For sure not. I sometimes go down to the 1 minute time frame, but most of the times I'm sticking to the 5 just because it's a lot calmer, easier to manage than the 1 minute time frame. And also with the YouTube live stream and people watching the live stream, the 1 minute time frame oftentimes is too hectic. But sometimes, I'm forced to go down there if I don't see a entry opportunity on the 5. Christian. I have that trade, or that, how would I say that, one of my biggest flaws is to knowing when to stop, especially on the 1 minute time frame, because I could be sitting in front of the charts all day long, going long, short, long, short, long, short. That's one of my biggest flaws that I have to work on next year. That really stood out to me. This is the biggest flaw that's holding me back from reaching my full potential. So to work around that, I prefer using the 5 minute. For example, if you have a similar issue, if you catch yourself going long and then not even 3 minutes afterwards, your entire bias changed all of a sudden, and now you're short, then you realize, nah, the long was correct, and you're out of your short again, and you jump in long again, and then it looks like, because the 1 minute is moving so quickly sometimes, it looks like a short again, and then you're jumping in short. You guys know what I mean? That has been one of my biggest flaws as a beginner trader. And now that after being funded and all that stuff, it's still my biggest setback. So I sort of carried that over with me. Yeah. And of course, if you look at it, even if you look at it in hindsight on the 1 minute time frame, I try to avoid that as good as I can. And what actually helped me is removing it up here, because then it's not as easy as clicking a button. You actually have to search for it. This way I don't know, kind of forced to stick to the 5 minute. There are too many, and it's very simple to get carried away. Very, very simple. Yeah, you might not catch the perfect low and the perfect exit if you, well, I don't know, some people even go down to the 15-second and 30-second time frame. Not saying anything against those people or those influencers that promote that kind of stuff, but well, I can say that it's not going to work for me just by knowing that the 1 minute is already too hectic and it doesn't suit my personality. No, not yet. Not yet. Doesn't suit my personality type. I have a very easy time to switch my bias, and I'm very impulsive and rather spontaneous. Like, oh yeah, let's try it. I like it. It's the best 1 minute setup I've ever seen, even though it isn't. Then I start to convince myself in taking that setup. For some people, they just have that laser focus and they can blend out all that stuff that's happening on a 1 minute time frame and only execute 2 or 3 times. I have a really hard time doing that. What's the time? It's 9:50. Still hesitating here. While NQ keeps on pushing. Almost back to the previous day's high. Let's take a look at our 1 hour. Yeah, honestly, wouldn't be surprised if we take out those equal highs right here. I actually, I wanted to say that, purchased another Funding Pips 100k challenge, because right now they have a 12% discount. I already shared it on Discord for the members. Let me pull it up here quickly. Right here inside the announcements. Did I? Okay, votes, 8 votes. Interesting. Yeah, they have a Christmas sale until the 24th of December for a 12% discount. You just have to use the discount code Christmas12, and then you can get your hands on a 100k challenge, for example, for just $350. And if you like, at no extra cost to you, you can use my affiliate link. There's also a link in the YouTube description box below to sign up with Funding Pips. Right here. Register your account. So once you click on that link, it asks you to register an account. You use your email and your password and all that stuff, and then you can go on to purchase your challenge until the 24th of December with a 12% discount. Cheapest CFD challenge that you're gonna get. Yeah, I know, news are dropping in 4 minutes. Let's see, as a little prediction, just for the fun of it. That's my call. 2022 model. Bullish SMT divergence at the lows. I could be wrong and we just retrace now. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, we could be, I'm looking for that fake out move at the beginning of the New York Open. And then maybe with the news event, the reversal, a sort of pump and dump or dump and pump. But right now, this doesn't look bearish to me. And it's just, what's the news event? Let me quickly check that. Consumer confidence. In my opinion. It's just, it's not FOMC or CPI or NFP where we have a massive wick most of the times and we rally for hundreds of points. It's a news release, yeah. And I'm likely gonna use that news release to deliver what has already been set up on the chart. But we will see. It's a 40% chance I'm wrong. 30%. Yeah, let's not worry about that. I'm still on the long. I'm gonna stick to it. Let's see what happens. Most people, especially on the higher time frame, look at this as a retracement. They're likely to enter short right now with their stops above all these levels. They might still be short from London, and I sitting here with fingers crossed, hoping it's still gonna continue lower. Well, think about it. The most amount of money, where is it going to be made? If we go lower or higher? I think if we go higher. We accumulated product. Market makers accumulated product. They produced. Think of a regular market price. They produce whatever they sell, whatever goods they sell at a discount, at a low price for a very long time, for over 5 hours. And now they're starting to sell that product at a premium. Let's see. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just pure silence. Yep. And cured the previous day's high. Let's see if it actually can continue, or if it's just that last stop hunt. So we cleared short-term high, that next buy-side liquidity. I would be looking at those equal highs right here. And this set of equal highs. We can just mark this as one area. Set of relative equal highs and then equal highs at the high of the day. But first of all, we have to see if that initial bullish momentum of that news candle is going to continue. NQ is already starting to reject. Tap the previous day's high here. Regular trading hours opening gap. Let's see where that's coming in at. Yeah, that's the gap. We already filled that in pre-news. So this is our open of today's New York session. This was yesterday's New York open close. New York close, not New York open close. At 4,817, we filled that in, and that's where we started to push up higher with the news candle. All right. Boom, 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 boom. And that was the news candle. Let's see how strong this is going to remain. We filled in this entire highest 15-minute bearish fair value gap to the tick. Let's see if that strength can continue, and if we actually take out the high of the day, would be pretty cool. Anyone else got in the long with me right here? So this was my long entry of this inversion fair value gap right here. I've closed one contract after 5 points in profit, and the other one is running for 10 points. Basically that midnight level. And I'm doing that on the new 100k challenge with funding pips, where you can currently get a 12% discount. Compared to FTMO, you would spend $550 US for a 100k challenge. And compared to some other CFD firms, well, it's the cheapest challenge out there. And so far, after trading with it for a long time now, not long time, but over the last 2 weeks, they have the best spreads on indices. So if you trade ES and NQ and you are sick of a live trailing drawdown with Apex Trader Funding or other future firms, or you just want to diversify and you do not trade Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar, even if you trade it, the spreads on EU and GU are also super small. I mean, I made this entire prop firm comparison sheet. You can use that to, it's in one of my videos, actually. I have to modify my take profit target. Screw it. Nah, chart. Let's not be too late. 9. Yeah, I'm still in the long. Oh, it almost hit my take profit target. Yeah, good. Able to modify it. So target, high of the day. Catching the entire move back up. This morning we caught the entire move to the downside. I mentioned this before a couple of times, but maybe a few more people joined in that haven't watched the live stream from the beginning. Within our VIP section on Discord, with all the VIP members, once I woke up, I checked the charts and I was looking at a potential short. 3 days to the upside, we took out the Asia buy side. We left behind this nice fair value gap. Barely any risk, only just 2 points of risk. Midnight level as resistance, and I mentioned, yeah, short idea on ES of the New York Midnight Open level, and that's actually where we saw our short from. So right here I entered short. And yeah, we caught exactly opposite. I have to admit, like I said earlier, one of my biggest flaws is not being able to pull myself out of it sometimes, especially if I'm not streaming, and to actually stop, especially after a big win like this. So I kept on trading here, and I almost gave back 60% of all the profits that I made on the way to the downside. And that really sucks. And that's really what I'm going to reflect on over the next week, because next week I won't be streaming neither on Discord or on YouTube. I might not stream even on Friday because I really want to, towards the end of the year, I don't want to start into 2024 as the same. I don't want to sound cliche, as the same person that I have been in 2023. Not in a personal sense, but from a trading perspective. I want to start fresh. Contemplate on my biggest achievements during 2023 and my biggest flaws and what's really holding me back. How can I take it one step further and going into the next year? And that's not going to happen thinking about it for 5 minutes and then going back to do whatever you've done before that. So I really want to take some time off with some detachment from the charts. Actually, won't be looking at the charts next week. I mean, the probability of us missing out on the biggest trade in 2023 is very, very small, and I don't really care about it. It's kind of week 52, it's after Christmas, we have Boxing Day next week, and then it's set gap time between New Year's Eve and Christmas Day. Low volume. Volatility is likely going to be there, but nah. I think that we have seen so many great opportunities. I mean, I've been streaming live since summer 2023. I think we deserve a week off towards the end of the year to think about our progress. How we want to improve heading into the next year. I wanted, if we close above the 5 minute, didn't get in on the volume imbalance. That volume imbalance, I love volume imbalance. Like earlier, I'd say just over 8 months ago, I didn't even look at them. Like, just a gap, who cares? But yeah, it's like a little fair value gap to me. And especially if it's in tune with order flow. And those volume imbalances, they're just too spot on. No, we have a inversion fair value gap up here. So the SPY side has been taken. We even hit those two equal highs. The only thing that's remaining right now would be, let's get rid of this bearish fair value gap. The fair value gap where everything started. I feel sorry for everyone that didn't take profit and on the higher time frame at least, and now seeing it coming all the way back wherever they got in. That's what we said prior to news. Where do you think the money is going to be made? Is it moving to the downside where they accumulated, or is it moving to the upside, stopping out all the London session traders and early Asia session traders? That answer was pretty simple. That's why I wasn't afraid of news to wig me out. We had a 2022 setup right here with a nice breaker block. If I would have seen close below that, yeah, I would have accepted that loss. But I think we did pretty well. Let me take a look at the Discord chat, put that on my second screen. I scalped a bullish put credit spread on SPX. Interesting. So you do options. Well, that's exactly the thing. In hindsight, you don't see that opportunity, but because you're so you fully focus on, and that's what I say, it's my biggest flaw that I want to get rid of in 2024. That's holding me back the most. To actually, just leave the chart sometimes. I'd say it's 99% of the time, I don't have an issue with that. But that one time where I have an issue with it and I cannot stop, it's 9 out of 10 times costing me too much. And most of the time, all my profit. And when it used to be not back in the days, right last month on my Apex funded account with a live trailing drawdown, usually what costs me the funded accounts, because I just can't pull myself out. And that's really what my biggest flaw that I have to work on. And I'm glad that I actually am aware of my biggest flaw. And it's something rather easy to work on. But at this moment, I was looking like, doesn't want to go lower. And then, you know what it is sometimes, like you go down to the 1 minute time frame and, it might start to pull back now. So right here, we shift structure. We have SMT divergence within Q. Right here, we had SMT divergence and Q made a lower low. Here we made a higher low. Yeah, and we might engineer some liquidity down here before we hunt these equal lows down there and pull back to maybe the 50%, take out some short-term highs. Let's enter long in that. That's exactly that what costed me most of the profits from the short. And then you see it fail and you try it again. You get caught in the moment. It pumps and you FOMO in. That's what happened to me this morning. And I'm not afraid to admit it. It's my biggest flaw. Maybe some of you watching have a similar issue. First part about getting better is admitting it. No shame in that. Yeah, I over-risked a little here because I've been in profit and I just wanted to get the account funded, but unfortunately that didn't really work. Like I said, if I lose it, I really lose it. Like, there's no holding me back. Like, it's really, all in on, not all in or nothing, but yeah. What can I say? I'm guilty. Let's see if we use that inversion fair value gap now to push back above the midnight, above our highest bearish fair value gap, and to take out our high of day. And Q is also pushing again. This would make the most amount of sense. Of course, we could retrace into maybe this bullish inefficiency. Let me actually get rid of this long position here and put it to the side. I'm still in that long, waiting for my TP to be hit right here. Yeah, and especially if you tape read like I do, you run the the potential is there. That's something I discovered, that you get a little bit too overconfident and a little bit cocky, like, yeah, I just made big profit. Let's go. Let's hit it big this time. Let's use a little bit more risk. I know what the market is going to do anyway. No surprises here. I'm good, like, you know what I mean? And that's sometimes what costs me the most. In theory, it's simple. Close your chart once you made good profit and you hit your daily profit target. Done. Sometimes in reality, I struggle with that. All right, NQ at a new high of the day. Now, human emotions are never simple. That's a fact. True that. True that. And most of the time, I'm not sure, maybe some of you watching this live stream can relate. If we would have immediately closed back below this and not yet inverted in fair value gap right here, then yes. If it's immediately being closed in, not showing me that momentum continuation that I'm expecting, yeah, I'm at least taking off some risk if I'm not willing to give up that entire position just yet, Christian. So yes, definitely. But what I was about to say, most of the times if I'm in that state, fully transparent here, I don't really care. Just want to see if some people can relate to that, some traders. What did I want to say? In the heat of the moment, well, not in the heat of the moment, it might be the wrong word, but once I start losing it, I'm 100% aware that what I'm doing right now is likely not gonna end well. So I'm 100% aware of that. And I know that entering that next trade, it might not end well because all those trades are just in shop. We had a major drop during London already. Why even bother watching it? Like I said, 9 out of 10 times I can cut it, close my charts, and I'm done for the day, or for the session at least. But that one time where I don't, it can be the end of a account. Because if I don't make that cut there, where am I going to make it? Once I reach my objective and I hit my profit target or past my challenge. Or the opposite would be if I blew the account. And you tend to get into that reckless sort of mindset where you're like, ah, damn it, doesn't matter. I buy another account. Let's try to pass this right now. Let's go. Can anyone relate? There's no shame in admitting that at all, in my opinion at least. I mean, eventually we all have similar goals. We might do different things. Being a full-time funded trader. But yeah, never just stays the same. So let's see it. Feel free to share it with me also in the YouTube chat. If you ever struggled with it, if you already overcame it. Agent Smith, what's that supposed to mean? That diamond here? Little gem? Or... We still didn't clear our high of the day yet. On NQ we did, on ES we did not just yet. It's 421. Targets above would be a daily volume imbalance starting at 4829, going to 4831. And then the next daily buy side objective for me would be at 4844. And then we would be looking at a weekly objective at 4861. If we just want to continue to expand. And all this was a accumulation down low. That's why I like to, be open-minded and not really have a forced bias, because I can imagine that many traders were sitting in front of their computers and they were only looking for that short. They planned out everything that could give them an opportunity to enter long. And I used to be on that same side. I had big issues with that. I have my mind dead set on taking a short inside this 1 hour bearish fair value gap. Blah, blah, blah. Used to have at least. Now all I need is confluence, a good gut feeling. So SMT divergence bounced off a bullish fair value gap where we already bounced off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for a 6th time after sweeping all these lows. All right, we move away from it with momentum. I'm not always, I also had that phase where I was just looking for that perfect 2022 setup, missing out on these opportunities. So if I would only be waiting for that retracement, sometimes it just doesn't happen because the framework isn't the same on every 2022 setup. Right here we accumulated for 5 hours and then we got our expansion. That's not going to be a very slow expansion. It's going to be gonna have to be a very quick and sudden one, so they don't give traders an opportunity to get out at break even or with a small loss. This move has to happen as quickly as possible. Not everyone, let's say higher time frame traders who have been on the short from London, or maybe jumped in short right here, or maybe just had limit orders placed, people that don't have the free time to check the charts because they're at work every minute, every 5 minutes right after the New York Open. Well, those are those scenarios where we do not actually retrace into our breaker blocks, and we didn't even retrace into a single fair value gap here. Maybe on the 1 minute, I don't even want to look at it because I saw the opportunity. This was a close call. We were focusing on this bearish fair value gap right here, and we saw just when it closed, it used to be above, but then yeah, the new candle opened up because there's sometimes a little bit of a delay on here on TradingView. We see it closed just at the high, but I like the volume imbalance. It's good enough for me. If I would have seen that candle, I think Christian, you asked me that. If I would have seen this candle to completely negate the volume imbalance and close back below our bearish fair value gap, continue lower, some sort of a pin bar candle, I would have been out of the trade and waited for a better opportunity. But since we didn't sweep buy side since 8:45, and all we did was sweep those 4 or 5 equal lows here, high conviction at this volume imbalance entry or inversion fair value gap entry. It's the only entry that I'm gonna get. Down here at least. And Q keeps on going higher. Yes, it's going sideways right now. This would have been a post-news fair value gap entry right here. Continuation, let's see. 1 minute time frame. Break in structure confirmed on this candle right here, but we did not leave behind a fair value gap here either. Then our volume imbalance entry right here, no fair value gap, no fair value gap. The first fair value gap came in right here on the 1 minute. And then we went sideways until news came out, moved to the upside, left behind another fair value gap, continued higher from here, leaving behind a new inefficiency, higher high from here. I think eventually we're going to hit the high of the day. Question is how. Diamond hands holding a position exactly. If the narrative fits, I don't have issues with that anymore to actually hold positions. And also because I'm not trading on my Apex account at the moment with my live trading drawdown. No issues at all. It's all static. Don't have to worry about that. And not trailing. The retracement would release hundreds of millions in the market, so they won't let the trades opposite of their move get out. Exactly. Think like a market maker, and that's exactly what we did before the news release, where I was looking for something like this, using news, because it's not a CPI, NFP, FOMC news event. It's just a consumer confidence news event. Most of the time, those news releases, they're just going to be used to deliver or push the narrative of what's already presented on the chart. So if we say 2022 setup, most of the time that, the news release is just going to accelerate that quick push to the upside. That's why I wasn't afraid. We got our entry down here. We immediately saw, okay, it's moving to the upside. At that time, I was already pretty confident. And we also said that, inventory is short. We have some overnight traders that might still have been in there short. And they were okay with it potentially retracing, having their stops around these areas right here. We can look at the volume profile. That usually gives us a good clue. So from the opening to our low, most amount of volume right here, then a big inefficiency. And then the majority of the volume has been transacted right up here inside our Asia session range. So we can expect that most of the traders got short, if they got short, around this area or running in profit. Looking for a continued short to hit more sell side to the downside. Maybe a high of the week setup, something like that. But that's when real accumulation happened. To be honest, I didn't say it could not happen, but I also wasn't super confident in it. So taking a long just based on because I think we can run the highs again, I wouldn't have done that. And there goes the high of the day after a little bit of consolidation. Done. My take profit target is set. Let's go. Well, let's see. So guys on YouTube, if you have any more questions, now would be the time to ask me, because I'm not really interested in anything more today. I mentioned targets to the upside. They just originate from the daily time frame. We have a daily volume imbalance right here. Starting at 4829.25. This was our drawn liquidity that we used yesterday at 4819. The next daily high on a daily time frame would come in at 4844, so roughly 24 points away from where we are at right now. We could be looking also at these highs. If we drop that down to the hourly and see if we have some more hourly buy side liquidity that we could be targeting, at least for the short term, if we really want to continue higher. So this was our draw from yesterday. We are right now at 4826. This is our daily volume imbalance. Well, not really. That Asia session high would really be my next target. Maybe some small stuff right here, but 4833. Now next draw should really be this daily volume imbalance. We'll just focus on that. Let's see where we're at right now on the daily. We retraced, didn't even touch our inversion again, and we keep on expanding. Crazy. So yeah, guys, if I don't see any questions in the next 2 minutes, that's going to be the end for the live stream. Job is done. Caught the long, almost from the low, back to our old high of the day. What more could I be asking for? We shared it on stream. I announced the short on our Discord with the VIP members before the London session. I think today was a good day, except for me messing up the profits I made on the short with not stopping after the big win. You're in this trade right now, Euro US dollar. Let's see, let the probabilities work out, Omar. And we had a strong close, forming a new high of the day, cutting through old buy side, likely leaving behind a new bullish value gap. It's a good sign. Thanks, Christian. I really appreciate the feedback. Feel free, guys, on YouTube to share criticism with me, what I can improve. That's actually the only way I can improve and understand it better, what you guys are actually, in for, what questions you have. That's why I ask all the times if you have any questions. Then I have more stuff to talk about. Otherwise, most of the time, I tend to focus a little bit. But yeah, I don't have any more targets for the day. Going long here. Yeah, of course, we could continue higher, but I'm not trying to long the high. I'm trying to get in long around the low if the narrative fits. Selling it right at the high, so buying cheap, selling high. Eventually, that big expansion is going to end, and we start to distribute. Here we accumulated product. Now we're starting to distribute it at a higher price. We have that daily volume imbalance, so maybe inside of that area, we will see. Do I value market structure a lot? Do I value market structure a lot? Yes. Yes, I'd say so. Definitely. But I started to, how do I say that? sometimes I start to front run market structure, because right here, really at this point in time, when I entered, market structure hasn't really shifted to bullish yet. But because I understand and I read price and go with the flow, basically, bullish SMT, okay, we're showing strength, we close above, I didn't close above, bullish volume imbalance, retest our fair value gap right here, that I can sometimes front run it while waiting for the market structure shift and the retracement. Sometimes it doesn't happen. And that's poison for me, because if I miss out on a move like this and I was ready to enter, I just didn't get the retracement, the probability for me to chase and mess it up again is very high. So that's why I try to look for a system that's more tailored to me and my personality, my strengths, my weaknesses, and that stuff. So yeah, I value it a lot, especially at the beginning when I only traded the reversal 2022 model. I wait for my textbook market structure shift. I wait for my fair value gap to be traded into. I get my entry and I get out at opposing liquidity. But because every 2022 setup is kind of different, still like the principles stay the same, but the delivery sometimes it's different. And I can't, at least at this point in time, I can't really, if I have the idea of going long here and I'm just waiting for the retracement and I didn't get in just because of that retracement, well, that really can end badly for the account, at least. Trying to chase it and getting in at a terrible price, and then it's reversing on me and I'm getting out again, jumping in short and then jumping in long again, and really getting nowhere except into drawdown. Yeah, like I said, Omar, there's no shift. I front run that shift. I saw, okay, NQ is pushing. NQ cleared some sell side here. Oh, NQ went nuts. How many points is that? 100 points. Okay, not too much, but still significant. Well, I mean, we could watch the recording. It's on YouTube once we end the live stream, or you could just skip back to minute. Let me see. Let's take a look at it together. Why not? If we already have the material here. So right here, that's where we cleared the low. It's just before 9:30. I'm not gonna listen to my voice. I don't think subtitles are working here. Come on, resolution. Ah, there we go. It's, what time is it? No, don't know. Oh, we were talking about the higher time frame, and that's when it started. Watching closely. What time was that? That was 9:25. So just before the New York Open. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Do a live recap. So 20 seconds until the New York Open. New York opened up. We started to retrace initially. NQ took some sell side, but right here we are already at the low of the day. Bullish fair value gap paired with bullish SMT divergence. That was already hint number one. And then seeing, okay, NASDAQ is trying to push here, but it's getting rejected. It keeps on pushing. We have the VWAP untouched since 2 a.m., since early London session. So at this point in time, I had no idea that I'm going to go long, to be really honest. I was just looking at what price is telling me. All right, and then I started to see some momentum. Interesting. And then I pointed out this bearish fair value gap right here. You see? 3 minutes to go. I didn't draw it in because I had my other hand on the phone. Let's see. Still 3 minutes to go, so we can skip ahead a little bit. 2 minutes to go. Still 1 minute to go. Let's skip ahead. So we can see NQ is already pushing. We have buy side, buy side, buy side, buy side, buy side, VWAP, and unfilled inefficiencies above. So we're playing inside this fair value gap. No, I can't turn on the volume here, otherwise you hear me twice. CNQ is leading here, pushing. So I'm really looking forward to see that close above. We see it keeps on pushing. Don't have to wait for that market structure shift here because it's likely inevitable. Then I started drawing in the fair value gap. 1, and then we open with the volume imbalance. And at this time I realized, oh, we have a volume imbalance there. I got my entry right around this time. Had my phone ready to execute, and I have been in. If I would have seen the close not at the high with the volume imbalance above our bearish fair value gap, I wouldn't have entered. There's a fine line, and it's not something you can replicate on 10 different days or do back testing on. It's just being in the moment, reading price, understanding what's happening, and not hesitating. And right now, bullish order flow keeps on going. We left behind a bullish fair value gap right here, paired with our inversion fair value gap at the high. We use it as support to deliver higher, likely into our daily volume imbalance. All right. I entered with 2 lots. So 2 lots. Entry right here with some spread. $500, something like that. 550, 600. The first slot I closed after 5 points before news. No point in holding both positions and letting it come back to break even. So secured 250, and the other one I secured after right here. So $700 basically on this entire move to the upside. Could have been more, of course. But, well, let's not be greedy. Dang it, should have made more money on that. Let's keep on trading. Yes. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining in today. I have to do some other things today. It's only a couple more days until Christmas. Gotta go get some presents and gifts. Running late here. Already Wednesday. So, yeah, thanks very much for joining in today. I mentioned potential targets to the upside right now. We don't look bearish. No chance. We had... Wow, man, that's incredible. Could wait for a change, so basically until we stop respecting bullish inefficiencies for a potential pullback. Yeah, but going in long just because you missed this entire move right now, that would be a mistake. Of course, obviously, you could manage your risk somewhat. Well, if you use a inversion fair value gap overlapping with a bullish fair value gap, stop loss 2.5 points maybe, targeting 5 points. Not looking for that 10 risk to reward trade up here. That ship has sailed. That train has left the station. All right. Where could have been better? I didn't want to say anything, Omar, when I saw that. But all these bullish fair value gaps below. I know it's theoretically the textbook 2022 model. But, well, even they fail. Thanks, day trader. Thanks for that feedback. Sometimes we get sick. We don't have any influence on that. Most important thing is to recover and then stay healthy again. Of course, then on those 2 days, we would have passed. Or if I would have done this, I would have passed. Don't worry about that. We have the entire next year to pass challenges, get payouts. So yeah, I'm also very much looking forward to that. Appreciate that. All right, Omar. Next time I'm gonna be brutally honest with you if you send me a setup. I mean, it could have worked, and then I don't want to be the one saying, oh no, that like my gut's telling me the opposite, and then you get out of the trade and it happens to work out. You know what I mean? And I'm also not in tune, so I'm just seeing a little snippet of the price action on that Euro US dollar chart. I'm not in tune with it. I've been watching ES this morning, then took a break after I messed most of it up right here, coming back to the charts just at 9 a.m. I'm in tune with that. I know what ES is doing at all times. If someone would ask me on the streets, oh, where's the S&P 500 sitting at, I could tell them, I could paint a picture. That's how in tune I am with the S&P 500. I could draw them a picture of the price action of the last couple of weeks, months, 1 minute time frame on the of today. So and it's really crucial to me to really be in tune. That's why I'm not really a fan of looking at 10 different pairs or a basket of assets and then pick the one that looks the best. Just trade. If you still don't know what you should trade and you really want to maybe try it out for the next 2 months in 2024, reducing your watch list, well, then you don't have to trade the S just because I'm trading the S&P 500. I just really like momentum, the precision, the volatility. It's not too volatile compared to NQ. It's not moving too quick. Some people actually prefer that because NQ is much easier to run up, like to make big points and big money. Or for example, gold. Some people like that. If you are one of them, then do that. Then trade gold and really try to get in tune with that and understand it, how it typically moves and the different sessions and all that stuff. So just because I trade ES doesn't mean anyone else has to do the same. If you're really in tune with Forex, then to Forex. If you like crypto, crypto is kind of a different story, sessions wise. New York Open and stuff like that, it's not really respected there. And lots of stuff most of the time also happening during Asia, consolidates for a long time most of the time. So yeah, scratch that out. Just look at your stats and pick whatever asset. Pick the asset with your best performing asset, basically, where you're performing or making the most profits with. A chart where you feel home, where you feel comfortable. Has to be a good one. H. Smith, like we always say, you can dance or you can try to date 10 people, whether it be man or woman, at the same time, or you can dance with them, but you never get to learn. Well, let me rephrase that. It's much harder to manage because, yeah, you're likely gonna burn out with all that effort. It's like getting married. Not that I am married, but you really get to know your partner, get to know her ups and downs, or his ups and downs. Something that happens to annoy you. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it. It's much easier to trying to master one instead of mastering 10 at the same time. Unless you trade a very specific model with 100% rule-based, stuff like that. But if you're more of a I go with the flow, gut feeling sort of approach, or if you want to try that, then I would highly recommend to just stick to one chart. Whatever you like the most. You got to sleep with the enemy. All right. But what if your main chart catches you sleeping with the enemy? Sleeping or you trading in Q. It's not going to treat you well. Now, I used to jump between charts. Didn't really work for me, so I tried exactly the opposite. I decided that I could go back jumping from chart to chart once I mastered one, and that really worked out for me. Yeah, if you like YM, go for YM. Like I said, it's important that you also enjoy that trading. If you only watch one chart, it should really be one that you enjoy. That offers setups every session. That behaves nicely. That doesn't just wick around for ages and it's too volatile. Too much volatility just isn't for me. That's why if people ask me to take a look at gold, I'm sometimes out of words because I'm like trying to get in tune with it, but just started looking at it for the last minute. And that's exactly what happens to me if I'm switching between different assets. Oh yeah, this is looking good, but could be this, could be that. Then you switch through time frames. Thanks very much, Omar. Yeah, the last few days have been incredible. I can't deny. Got the short, caught the long. Unfortunately, messed it up with me not being able to stop. My biggest flaw. Going to work on that right here. Taking too much of a loss of my profits, but it's all right. We live and we learn. Something to work on. Would be boring if we would have nothing to work on, I guess. Yeah, take care, Omar. I'm also going to leave now. I'm just going to check YouTube if we have any more questions. Christian, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks very much for joining in today, guys. Make sure to check out the links in the video description. Funding Pips currently has a 12% discount. You get a 100K challenge for just $350 with the lowest spreads on the S&P 500 and NASDAQ compared to all other CFD funding firms. Or you go for a futures funding firm where there's basically no spread at all, at least if you use limit orders. I would recommend Take Profit Trader or Apex Trader Funding. They both have discounts going on at the moment. And also, I have discounts running here at the accumulation zone. So if you want to watch those live streams next year without any advertisings or delays on YouTube, especially once we're down to the 1 minute time frame, you can join the VIP membership at a 15% discount. The discount code is VIP in capital letters and in numbers 15 for a 15% discount on the VIP membership. Therefore, just click on the wob.com link in the description box below to learn more, or simply check out our website. Yeah, and that's basically it. One of the last live streams in 2023. Like I said, I'm going to take next week off and gonna start trading again in 2024. Might be the second week of January, just because I want to detach myself at least for a little while from the charts and assess and contemplate some things. All right. I think that's going to be the end. Take care, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good one. Bye.